Cologne. I'm lifted into the air once again. Para tugs at the crystal chains around my wrist, guiding me forward, leading me out of the serpents?
Yes, Aster is actually the one leading you.
It's quiet. Is everyone observing in silence? Or are they not observing at all? Who is everyone? Where am I?
Vishnuga, we're heading to the crevice, specifically.
I'm finally placed on the ground. Crystal strands wrap up around my limbs, securing me in place, trapping me. It's still quiet. All I can hear are soft steps. That's odd. Para and Aster normally always have something to say.
Really? I always thought they were some of the quieter Aurorei.
I guess Aurorei never stop talking.
If you say so.
They continue walking around, not saying anything. Suddenly, the number of steps increases. More Aurorei have arrived. Welcome, Aster says. The words float over the clicking sounds. They've already shed the illusions necessary for the sacrifice.
Of course. Why would they keep them up?
More and more Aurorei arrive. Aster welcomes them, but no one says much after that.
That's definitely odd. You would think after what Karen did, this situation wouldn't rattle them so much.
Really?
This inability to adapt and react productively has led to and will continue to lead to the deaths of countless species, dozens of planets, and even a few solar systems.
But not you. Not the blubberts.
Not us.
Now that everyone's here, let's begin.
Para says, pointlessly sticking to formalities. There's a few light, quiet clicks that eventually pull together to form Para's name.
Skreon isn't here,
Ketty says. She sounds tired. Her clicks are slow.
Ketty, she has to complete the sacrifice, remember?
Xenia asks.
You know how long it takes to ensure a sacrifice goes smoothly. And Cologne made the situation even more complicated. Skreon probably won't be able to make it.
Right. I'm sorry. Ketty clicks.
But we're talking about Cheetah,
Kame says.
so why not wait a bit longer? Cologne's not even awake yet. We can go through the known information before she wakes up, and then proceed with the questions.
Para says, as if she's in control.
Only Para gets vitriolic quips now? You're quite pragmatic.
Aren't you supposed to be executing a plan?
I am.
Will we wait for Skreon after we go over the information?
Kame asks.
We will proceed with the questions after we go over the information.
Para responds. Her clicks are monotonous. I can't pick up her scent.
You're dodging the question.
Kame sharply clicks. The scent of berries is overpowering. Isn't she the only one born in Bacchanius?
They certainly are a steadying contrast.
It would be best for Skreon to remain uninvolved.
Aster says. Her clicks are calm, almost soothing.
It would be best?
Kame asks.
You really believe that? Skreon might not be able to handle this after everything she's been through.
Aster says. It's weird to hear her doubt Skreon.
She's Skreon. She can handle this.
Kame says.
Can she, Kame?
Isachiya asks.
Can she handle witnessing that creature doom her protege?
The same creature that led her mentor to her death.
Sounds like my fate has been determined, and judging by the silence, everyone has finally figured that out.
I suspect most of them already knew.
Reese.
We're here.
Screon says, shifting cotton candy in her arms. So, is the plan worth following, or am I dead? I ask. Screon pauses for what feels like an eternity.
She'll say yes.
I flinch, and Screon giggles.
It seems someone told you my answer.
If that answer is yes, then someone did.
That's my answer,
she confirms. It's nice to know she doesn't want to kill me anymore. I'm going to live. Again.
You are never going to die.
Sorry, I'm not a god. Thinking I'm going to live 1 minute and die the next isn't good for my mental health.
I'm not a god.
I know. Sorry, I'm stressed.
I've been several gods across multiple planets and religions.
Right.
Are you ready to go, dear?
Screon asks. She almost sounds worried. Yeah, is cotton candy kind of a jerk as well? I ask.
Rudely.
Cotton candy?
You're blubbered. Screon smiles, but it doesn't reach her eyes.
My blubbert acts like a blubbert,
she says.
She guides me properly and doesn't place me in danger for no reason.
I have a reason if you're interested.
But you won't tell me everything.
Let's go,
Screon says.
Clone.
This is exactly why we should begin going over the known information.
Para says, finally ending the silence.
Are there any objections?
No one objects.
Then let's begin.
Para says,
this is the second instance in recent times that an Aulier from Sheeta has acted in a harmful manner that contradicts her training. Both of these instances were connected to the elder blubbert of Sheeta.
Para pauses.
At the command of her blubbert.
No one has anything to say.
Based on our current knowledge, Clone's actions include intentionally skipping part of the ceremony and using that time to pursue, at best, personal entertainment. In addition, there were other behaviors exhibited that, while not prohibited, are concerning. She repeatedly only procured the bare minimum number of sacrifices each cycle, has shown little interest during other Aku ceremonies, rarely participated in community events on Sheeta, and would use any spare time to study crystals.
Para pauses again.
At the command of her blubbert. Again.
Is everything at the command of her blubbert now?
Yes.
Para's acting normal.
If it makes you feel better, her blubbert statements are incredibly calculated.
These behaviors should have been dealt with early on, but they were excused as immaturity. We believed that the elder blubbert of Sheeta would intervene if those behaviors were truly issues, but the elder blubbert did not. This led us to the current situation.
Says one of the two blubberts who may have been able to hold me accountable.
This is the second time that an Aulier monitored by Sheeta's elder blubbert has acted in such a manner. Thus, Sheeta's elder blubbert needs to be held responsible.
Para continues.
And how do they plan to do that?
Yes, she does.
Kame agrees. I hear soft clicks of relief.
Likely Ketty.
I can almost feel everyone relax.
Everyone?
Para, please continue.
Aisachia says. The tension returns.
The tension never left.
It is likely that the Aulier did not have much agency in this situation. However, at this point, there's a significant chance that she is unsalvageable.
Para finishes. It's quiet. No one seems surprised.
Congratulations. You finally noticed.
They knew this would happen. Unsalvageable? Kitty repeats quietly.
You're not the only one who finally noticed what's going on.
She's one of your devoted servants,
Kame says. She's trying to keep her cliques neutral.
It's a good attempt.
All she did was listen to her blubbered. Kame,
Isachiya says.
calm down. Kame, this isn't about punishing Clone. It's about protecting the Order of Pagos.
Para says.
It doesn't matter what you call it. You're going to kill Clone.
Kame answers. No one responds.
And Kame's been knocked out.
What?
Her blubber caught her with some crystal strands before she hurt herself.
She was knocked out?
Yes. Some of Vishnuka's workers are leading her out.
We'll start questioning Clone when she wakes up.
Para says.
Stay asleep for a little while longer. Any objections to the plan?
No objections. Screon. I follow Reese through the fields of Shida. I love these fields. They're so peaceful during a sacrifice.
Okay, so apparently, Blueberry hid some stuff for us in the upcoming haven.
She says. I nod. Reese quickly finds the materials once we get to the haven.
Okay, the first one, we need this, and that for this.
Reese mutters as she begins rummaging through and organizing the materials, sorting them into neat little piles.
And I think that's everything. Is that everything? Okay, cool. Now, Cotton Candy needs to eat it.
Place me on the ground.
I place her on the ground. She scoots over to the piles and begins eating. Once she finishes, she scoots back over to me, and I pick her up.
And now all we have to do is wait a bit for Cotton Candy to digest.
Reese says.
Blueberry claims it shouldn't be a problem since we have plenty of time.
That's true, I agree. If we weren't setting this up, I would be rushing through the minutiae of the ritual.
The brainwashing,
Reese says.
Clone had her concern. She could have easily completed this sacrifice.
It keeps us connected to our history and allies, the foundation of our peace. Brainwashing, Reese almost sings.
You're not going to argue.
I'm not.
You ready to make the crystals, Cotton Candy?
Reese asks. 3 crystals appear in my hand.
They're very cloudy.
Reese notes. Let's finish the ceremony, I say.
Reese. Screon leads me through Shida's crown. It looks like Kermapira's crown. The carvings are just lit up with pink crystals instead of green ones. The murals depict the different seasons, but parts were clearly redone. I can't help but notice a lack of blubbers.
Once we came along, they didn't have to hide in the crown anymore.
There are no pictures of their true form.
There were. Some are still there, but most of them were edited since the crown was incorporated into the sacrifice process. There's one to your left.
The dollus looks like it's looming over the flowers.
That would be why it was kept.
Screon stops and lets go of my hand.
We're here.
The edge of the Aku, where the ice that surrounds the Aku meets the ground. So this is where you kill people.
This is where we analyze the sacrifices, and then kill them.
Analyze the sacrifices? Skrion steps to the side and turns to face me as the crystals embedded in the ice begin to glow.
We perform various tests on the sacrifice to collect data.
Tests? You want to elaborate on that?
We test their reactions to different stimulus and take various different samples from the sacrifice. We then report the data back to, well, I probably shouldn't explain that if you're going to get out of here alive.
Guess you shouldn't. Stimulus and samples? That sounds ominous. Almost like torture. You torture them.
That would be how your species perceives it.
Perceives it? Maybe I'm an optimist. Maybe this is naive, but I'd like to believe most species would perceive it the same way.
I wouldn't say that's optimistic or particularly naive. Most species would perceive it that way.
That's actually really reassuring.
I'm glad you think so.
Skrion. The room gets hot, and the scent of crystals becomes intoxicating, overwhelming, enough to cover up the scent of a body being torn apart. It's as if Reese is being delivered to Sheeta. The heat fades, but doesn't completely disappear like it should. The scent of crystals dissipates. Reese's tangy artificial scent remains. Let's go, I say, as I enfold myself and shake off the lingering stiffness.
Reese. Skrion's figure is engulfed in light as she walks through the horns. She grows, towering over me in seconds. The light fades, leaving Skrion's true form behind. We exit the crown, and Skrion stands up a little taller. She was hunched over. As we get closer to the town, I start to hear clicking sounds and muffled words. When the town comes into view, I can see a small crowd of Dolly gathered outside. Skrion stands a little taller, perfecting her posture. She was slouching. The clicking sounds peter out into silence.
The sacrifice has been completed,
Skrion announces. Her voice overlaps with sharp clicks.
She doesn't slur her words.
The crowd remains quiet for a moment before they start clicking again. There aren't any words overlapping with the clicks.
They're cheering. Well, trying.
Skrion raises a lanky, claw-like limb, and the crowd goes quiet.
I have some matters to take care of at Vishnuga. I'll be back soon,
she says. The crowd is quiet for a moment.
Take care, Skrion. Stay safe. Come back soon.
Bring her back. The clicking stops. Everyone's quiet. Skrion softly clicks. No words overlap with it.
She's trying to reassure them.